Welcome
Here we are.
to Brits American Tour.
Here we are.
All things British and American, and what we think of you lot out there, and what you up to, and what you compared to us.
What do you think of us? One of us that is out there is this young man up here.
Yes, Lawrence.
Who, yeah.
He's rocking a hairdo there that we've not seen
He
from
is,
Lawrence
actually.
before.
I haven't seen him like that before. So today he's got 8 ways British and American education systems are very different.
Yes, very different.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I mean, they do seem to do a lot more, make a lot more of it, and you got your sophomores and your all that sort of thing going on. That seems big over there, doesn't it? You know, freshmen, sophomores. We've been through that on one of the other ones.
Seems confusing to me, but then it doesn't take much.
But let's see, and hear Lawrence's take on it, and give our reaction to what he's telling us, and if we agree.
Yes, this is Brits American Tour, sister channel to Britpop's React. If you've seen us over there, if not, go check out that channel. But yeah, we're going to do all things American here, and seeing as the kids are going back to school, right? Well, they are in the UK,
yes,
I think
yes.
It's that time of year. We thought we'd do the British American education system. Let's see if you agree. Let us know in the comments. Get involved. Let's do it.
So honours are signified by phrases like cum laude, magna cum laude, cumulonimbus, or cactus priculus.
What? I'm confused already.
Hello, I'm Lawrence, and I'm on
clown.
a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to education. Before we get underway, some disclaimers. Britain is made up of 3 countries: England, Scotland and Wales, while the UK also includes Northern Ireland. Because each country has a separate education system operating under a different government, comparing British and American approaches could take as long as a doctoral programme. Therefore, when it comes to Britain, I'm going to focus on the country of my own schooling, England. For more details on the other countries, see my links in the description. Furthermore, some of the finer details of US education can vary by state, school district and school. So for some things in today's video, there will be exceptions that prove the rule. Basically, there's going to be a part 2. Ahead of his election victory in 1997, former British Prime Minister Tony Blair summed up his political priorities with 3 words: education, education, education.
Yes.
The problem was, he didn't specify in what order. Schools in England date back to about the year 598. They were introduced by Augustine of Canterbury, who, like many in the 6th century, resembled a sketch of somebody from the 6th century. On the other hand, the first public school in America was the Boston Latin School. It was modelled after a grammar school in Boston, England, and among its notable alumni was Benjamin Franklin. History notes that he didn't actually graduate and quit the school at the age of 10, and he didn't even have a Nintendo Switch. Fast forward to 2020, and today's kids haven't got a clue where the word fast forward comes from. But also, those kids, like us before them, are cogs in an educational machine that has been worked and refined for hundreds of years. Except on either side of the pond, that machine is a different make and model. In fact, English and American education is very different. As somebody who was schooled the English way but married an American teacher, I'm going to take a look at those differences.
American teacher, I didn't realise she was a teacher.
No, didn't.
Before we look at the education life cycle, let's talk about one of the most striking visual differences between English and American schools: uniforms. In the United States, most schools don't require one. Brits like me know this because we've seen Saved by the Bell, but that doesn't give us the whole picture. American schools do enforce a dress code. This varies by school, but in general, you might see kids wearing things like khakis and polo shirts. You know, basically anything worn by 55-year-old professionals called Scott. There's typically no requirement that these clothes have to match from student to student.
Really?
And while some private schools do require uniforms, this is the exception that proves the rule. In England, everything's flipped, and I'm not just talking about the roads. 90% of English schools require pupils to wear identical uniforms. Think
100%.
Hogwarts without all the fun stuff. And what's fascinating is there's no government mandate for schools to do this. They just do it. It really makes me wish I'd put forth a more vociferous protest against the autocratic infrastructure of my school when I was
let's just
5.
stop it there, mate.
Let's stop it there, because
I mean, I've had 3 children go through the education system. You've had 2.
Mm.
I agree that school uniforms are a good thing because
I do.
A, it stops them having to faff about in the morning, worrying what they're going to wear,
Yeah.
what their mates are wearing,
Yeah.
what latest fashion is.
Yeah.
The only downside of it is that week when they go back to school, i.e., last week, you've all got to rush out to the same schoolwear shop and buy the new uniform, ain't
That's
you?
right, yeah. No, I totally agree on all those points.
Yeah.
I think it unifies the kids because you get
Yeah.
some,
The
from
haves and the
poorer
have-nots.
backgrounds and some from
Yeah.
well-established backgrounds, and they look the same. There's no like,
Yeah.
they're wearing that, or they've got a Gucci
Yeah.
bag, and it cuts all that crap out, which is perfect. And you're right. In the morning, they know what they're going to wear. You're there ironing 5 shirts,
Yeah.
5 sets of trousers or skirts. It's just bang, bang,
done,
bang.
isn't it?
So, and I
Yeah.
didn't realise. I thought in America that it was that from secondary school or from high school or whatever they call it. But I thought of the lower, the elementary, and so I thought they still had some sort of
No, I don't
uniform.
think so, no.
But
No,
no,
not at all,
interesting.
mate.
No, okay,
Yeah.
very good.
And you know what kids are like first thing in the morning trying to find something. If they know what they got to put on, I mean, Steve Jobs, he learned it from the kids going to school, mate.
Yeah, where's me
top,
tie?
black
Where's me?
trousers.
Can't find me
Yeah.
tie. Because they do
All
wear
right.
ties over here in the UK. Yeah,
Yes.
But we all have regrets.
great.
It's true that both countries employ a numbering system to denote a child's educational development. In England, this is measured by year, and in America, by grade. And there's a slight difference in how this plays out. England's numbering system is always one higher than America's. So, for example,
Right.
English kids in year 2 are the same age as American kids in the first grade. And this is the same all the way up to year 13/12th grade. This doesn't mean that English schools randomly hold children back a year. It just means that the English year 1 serves the same purpose as America's kindergarten. On the whole,
Right, yeah.
English and American kids attend school between about 5 and 18, but that's not the entire story. Even before all of this, there's a 2-year warm-up session.
Yep.
Preschool.
Between 3 and 5, when children still can't do easy stuff like order pizza or filter spreadsheets, parents in both countries have them sent off to something called preschool.
Yeah.
And instead of getting punished for their abject lack of ability, they're rewarded with free playtime. Madness. Except in England, we don't normally call it preschool. This period is broken up into what is known as nursery and reception year.
This is very true.
Confusingly, reception year is technically
Year
the
R.
first year of school and year 1 is the second year. Among other things, this explains why I'm so bad at maths.
I know. Talk about you're
In
confusing. from
America, the
start.
school where children advance to next is known as elementary, but to English people, that's just a word that Sherlock Holmes uses when he wants to be condescending.
Yeah, elementary
This period
to us.
of education is where children from the ages of about 6 to 11 are first introduced to the broad range of knowledge they'll need to succeed in life. So, handling basic arithmetic, developing spelling ability, and explaining grass stains. In England, schools handling this period of primary education are known as primary schools, but in America, primaries are a series of state elections for nominating a party candidate,
Yes.
which occur roughly every week
Right.
forever.
About the same
And then
age
there's
group,
the
though,
average
innit?
class size. In the
Yeah,
US, the
mentally.
average class size for self-contained elementary classes is about 22.
Oh,
Just saying that
okay.
out loud, I can already hear the
Wow.
laughter from teachers in states where the average is much higher. For instance, Utah, where it's 27. As it happens though, 27 is the national average for English primary schools.
Yeah, I was
This
gonna
was
say.
even the case when I was at school back in
Look at in there.
1782.
Yeah,
In the
about
United
same there.
States, middle school is an alternate dimension that exists between elementary school and high school education. This dark underworld of sorcery is where teachers become locked in a battle of wits against a hive mind of monsters known as 8th graders.
Eighth
The average class size for departmentalized instruction is about 25, which
Right.
only adds an extra layer to this already cruel hellscape. In England, it goes like this. The upside down is known generally as secondary school. Mercifully, the average class
Yes.
size is about 22, but while this nightmarish period
Hang on a minute. 22? I don't think so. What, in secondary school?
Yeah.
Nah, late 20s now. Easy. He may make that comment. Anyway.
Period of education, as with the United States, roughly encompasses the age of 11 to 14. It doesn't end there.
No. Yeah, I think he's a little bit short on there. Maybe that's on the numbers back when he released this in 2020. But no, they're mid to late 20s now. I don't know why. I think a lot of schools are closing, or there's just not enough people in certain areas. The schools are at capacity.
Like teachers.
Yeah. So middle school. So is that the same school, or do they actually move schools like elementary, move school, middle school, move school, high school? Because we tend to have just a primary and a secondary.
Correct. Yes.
So they have 3 schools. Or do they move from one area to another area in the same school?
I think they have different schools, yeah.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. All right,
yep.
keep going.
England. It drags on for another 2 years, coinciding age-wise with America's freshman and sophomore years of high school, which, by the way, brings us on to this.
High school.
Yes, high school. In the United States, this is a period of education from the ages of about 14 to 18. After freshman and sophomore year comes grade 11 or junior year and grade 12 senior year. This is typically when the students begin their development into humans, but it's also when most students take their SATs, a series of tests to determine readiness for college. These are not to be confused with the English SATs or SATs, which are assessments taken by 7 and 11-year-olds. Yes. In England, it is a similar process, but by a different name. And before keyboard warriors like Uncle Toby start writing in all caps that we have high schools in the UK, I know we do. But to keep things simple, that same period of schooling is typically structured like this. Age-wise, the last 2 years of secondary school are to England what freshman and sophomore years are to America. This is when pupils across the country take GCSE tests in all their subjects to determine suitability for further qualifications. Yes. Meanwhile, the English age equivalents of junior and senior year take place in what is known as sixth form or college. This is the point in education where we stop wearing uniforms and start dressing like John Travolta. It's also where we study 2 or 3 chosen specialised subjects as part of our A-levels. For me, this was English, history and theatre studies, because that's how you become a YouTube sensation. The results of these tests determine your suitability for university. They're often compared to America's advanced placement exams. But while both help to determine a student's path in higher education, they're not entirely the same thing. That being said, higher education does come with its own differences.
Okay. Higher education,
in the US, college means something entirely different. It's the general catch-all term for an institution of higher education. Right. In England, this is referred to as university or uni because everything devolves into slang at some point. Of course, specific institutions in both countries play hard and fast with this rule. See, for example, Harvard University and Imperial College London. For American students, a bog-standard bachelor's degree takes 4 years to complete, while in England, unless I, somehow skipped a year, which is entirely plausible in hindsight, a bachelor's degree typically lasts 3 years. Upon completion, students in both countries can graduate with honours.
I am confused. So we've got colleges in the US, which is equivalent to our unis, right? Which you just said.
Yeah.
So then, but you have universities in America. Now, are they the same level as colleges in America, or are they one up again?
No, because that's what you said. One of you got.
Yeah, that you got the Harvard,
Stanford University,
Harvard, and then you got Imperial College of London.
Yeah.
So they are the same. I know he gave us a thingy, but in the broader sense of that, right? Okay, because otherwise, I just get confused. But college. Why can't we just? I suppose I was going to say, why can't we just be...
on one thing? Let's keep it all the same.
It's not that easy, though, is it? You can't keep it all the same. But there you go. Anyway, let's keep going.
The difference, though, is how this is printed on a degree transcript. In England, Bachelor of Arts, or BA, might be followed by the word honours or ons, because see previous comment about slang. In America, they're all about their Latin, so honours are signified by phrases like cum laude, magna cum laude, cumulonimbus, or cactus priculus.
or even making them up.
Like any
Okay.
good teacher, I've left the best bit until the end of class. It wouldn't be America and England if they weren't separated by a common language. So let's take a rapid fire look at the differences in educational terminology. As we've already seen, you've got grade versus year, but you've also got semester versus term. While America has its students, England has its pupils. Whether or not they attend elementary school or primary school, high school or college or uni, there's a good chance they'll have to study math or maths. And in England, we don't take tests, we take exams. In England, a rubber erases a mistake. In America, it prevents one. And speaking of words that have different meanings, let's finish today's class and or module by talking about two words that perennially cause confusion. Public school. In the United States, a public school is one that is publicly funded and free for students to attend. In 2016, more than 70% of students were publicly educated in the US
It's the same
as
in the
opposed
UK.
to privately educated. In England, a public school is something different.
No, it's not.
In the late 1800s, the
it
term public was used in the sense of these schools being open to pupils of any locality, denomination, or paternal trade. Basically, anyone whose parents could afford it. So, an English public school is a private school. A publicly funded school, on the other hand, is called a state school, which has nothing to do with state universities in America. It's all confusing, and
I'm
I've lost my
completely
train
confused,
of
so I'm
thought.
just going to leave now.
Saved by the bell. That's it for this episode. Thank you for joining me. Let me know in the comments below if you've attended a school in either America or the United Kingdom, and you
I
have.
still don't get it, because in the UK we say, oh, do you send your kids to private school? No, because you've got to pay for it. It's a public school. Or state. Why do we call it a state school? Why do we call state? We
State
don't have
school is
states.
because but it's funded by the state, the government.
The state, yeah, but again, we
funded by the
won't
state.
use the state. We'll use the government. I don't know. It's an American word anyway. I find
Well,
it
there,
mad.
ladies and gentlemen, is what I have to deal with daily. The thing that confuses me most about American colleges is that they all seem to be about 40 in the movies, don't they? Danny and Sandy and Zuko, the cast of
Yeah,
Grease,
oh,
they're
yeah.
about 40 years old going to college.
It's like, come
Look at
on.
the age of them. Brilliant.
They've
There you
had
go, mate.
kids and
So
all
he is
sorts.
totally confused. He needs some
Yeah,
more
confused.com.
education. We don't need no.
Education.
All right, there you go. That's what we do on this channel. Confuse him. BP1.
Yeah, doesn't take much. All right. Well, let us know in the comments. Were you aware of that? If not, let us know.
There's a lot to take in, a lot of info there. Lawrence?
Did you go to colleges and schools and elementaries, high schools, colleges,
Correctional
universities?
school.
Yeah, special school. I've no idea. All sorts.
All right.
Let us know in the comments. Come on board. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Do come with us on our
Please
new
do.
channel.
Yes.
It helps us out here at Brit American Tour. All right. Good job, mate.
Nice, yeah. Well done, Lawrence. A lot of info. Thank you very much. He's going to go for a lie down. I'm going to go and make a cup of tea.
Lovely jubbly. All right. Until then, tomorrow or another day this week, Tuesdays and Sundays, you're with us, Brits American Tour. Bye.
Nice. Bye. Ta-ra now.